All right, everyone. Hi, and sorry for the delay. We're having delightful experiences with technology, as we always do, but it's kind of an amazing world that we can have remote conferences to begin with. So, if any of you are there and the audio cuts out or something, just drop something in the comments, and I'll try and reboot everything to get it up to speed. My name is Greg. I'm the CEO and co-founder of the Colony Meadery. Obviously, we make mead. We've been around 8 years in Allentown and Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. And thanks to the CBP, I've had the opportunity to talk to some of you guys about some really important stuff. Last time I talked about money, and prior to that, we talked about mental health. Really big deal things that all of us have to deal with in the industry. So I'm very pleased today to be able to talk about something completely ridiculous, which is actually one of the things I think we sometimes get the most joy from, which is just like stupid things that we did that ended up working out really, really well. Now, trust me, there's, I'm sure, 100 things we could do that, either worked fine or not at all or whatever, just like all of you. But these are just 5 stupid ideas that I wholeheartedly encourage everybody to steal from our business. They are all free. None of them cost any money at all. And they have all saved us either enormous time, or they've brought us some real joy and saved us, and brought us some positive outcomes. So, like I say in the slide, it's free corporate espionage. Just stupid ideas. All right, first thing. We did this early on, mostly because I was tired of trying to send pictures to journalists who invariably had email accounts that couldn't accept pictures and stuff. So we created the Google Drive that has an open, that anyone can see. And that's where we put basically all of our image assets. So it can be, you could put lots of stuff in here. You can put label art, logos. We have our kind of contact info and our basic info that everybody asks for. And we just give this to any journalist or anyone who's doing anything as far as covering us or doing something that'll appear either in digital or in print. So basically we just created it. We made a Bitlink. Ours is bit.ly/colony brand. Obviously, just pick one that fits you. And then you can see here what it looks like. We've got our bottle shops, label art, logos, photos, and sell sheets. So you can send it to wholesalers, and then they can put it in their stuff. If any of you are, in the distribution game, just makes it really, really easy then. Instead of having to send the same information 37 times a week to different places, and then when you update stuff, you just replace it here, and then it gets updated live. So that actually was something we did early that really ended up saving me a lot of time. Again, you just set the sharing to anyone the link can view, and then give it to everybody. Designers, that way all your assets are there. They don't have to keep bugging you for stuff. Again, been a big time saver. Second, nonprofit policies page. This took us a little longer to put together, but like all of you, we get hit up for free stuff every minute of every day. Everybody always wants free stuff. Every nonprofit, every good cause in the world. Like I'm sure many of you, we try and say yes to as many as we can, but no one could say yes to everything, or else we would have no product left to run our business with. So one thing we did is we put a page together on our website with our nonprofit policies. And it literally has ways to get us to say yes and ways to get us to say no. It also talks about the causes we care the most about. And there are certain things that I tell them not to do. Like I tell them not to use the word exposure, or they will be denied. I can't stand the word. In the words of my friend John Talkington at Birmingham, people die of exposure. So we have this page up. It has a form there at the end of it. Also Bitlinked. So just send it to anybody. Yep. Just go to bit.ly, colony giving or anything like that. Makes it easy for them to find. We try to put some personality into it. We, tell them that we don't, for example, we don't like to give product. As I imagine many of you don't. Products, generally speaking, disappears into an auction and then you never see those people again. You get literally nothing out of it. So we prefer to donate tours, tastings, things like that. We also tell them that if they spend any money at all, we're really, really happy to do a lot more than if they just sort of walk around with their hand out. It's things like that. But obviously, everyone has their own sort of way that they approach these things. So you put that in there, and that way, somebody with a background in nonprofit like myself, I really would have appreciated this. Or it's just like, okay, I know these guys like what I'm doing, cool, or I can look at it and say, this is probably not going to be a great fit anyway. So that's all it is. Again, very easy, saves you a lot of time. Third is a values page. Now, I've seen these become a lot more popular, and particularly now that we've entered an era where everyone is looking to their local brewery for leadership on issues from social justice to public health, which is, of course, a very comfortable position for all of us to be in. But one way that you can kind of showcase and let people know what you are is you can have a page about your values and what you believe in. You can put the pictures of your managers up there so that people kind of have faces to names. I actually just saw something cool. A brewery actually used a QR code on their cans to connect them to their employee code of conduct, because obviously there has been an enormous focus on employee rights and how breweries treat their employees and whether they're in a safe, and positive environment. And so you could literally scan this QR code and it would take you to their employee manual and their employee Bill of Rights, and it's right on their website. So you could do something as simple as that too. It does allow you to maybe say, I guess you could argue it's not any more permanent than putting something, in social media, but it feels like it is if it's something that's out there and it explains to people, who you are, what you stand for, what you believe in, where you came from, stuff like that, rather than doing the, about us, where, we were free range chicken farmers for 17 years. And then we decided to launch a brewery with the money from great Aunt Patsy or whatever. Having a values page where you actually talk about what you believe in, really does kind of help. And the thing is, you can also put policies on this. I imagine this varies greatly by area. We went through a phase where we got a lot of inquiries to do political things, and a lot of these political inquiries were about, can I come in and do flyering for Bernie Sanders? Can I come in and do flyering for our local, the senator who's running? And so we decided that our policy is, and this is on our values page, if you are a politician, you are running for office, or your current office holder, we will let you have an event at our place. You can't do it on behalf of one, though. So if Bernie Sanders wants to come to our meadery, we will happily have an event for him and people can ask him questions. And that is also in our values, that you can have an event, but you will be you have to be prepared to answer real questions from people. And so, if people disagree with you, if you have views that people don't like, you have to be prepared to talk to them with respect, just as we expect them to talk to you with respect. So that's just something, again, it's out there. It lets the policy be clear for anyone who asks. There's a few other things you can put on there. So that's another one that saves us a bunch of time and kind of brings in positive, affection from our communities that look to us and do care about us as a place that kind of has a specific role in some of our local causes and communities. Fourth thing, these tote bags. Now, obviously, there are ways you can do this if you don't have glass bottles that you sell, and this is only for those of you who have packaged goods. There's these bags cost us like, I don't know, $2.50 a piece. And obviously they put our name on them and we give them to you. We don't sell them. You can only get them if you buy 4 bottles. Nobody buys 3. And so now we also give $1 off when people bring the bags back, because obviously some of our regulars ended up with like 7 of these and we were still paying $3 to give it to them. So we added that as a sort of boomerang coupon thing. But it really did. I mean, as far as upselling, it mattered enormously. Now, if we're doing cans, I don't know. I guess you have to find something, there probably, you could certainly still use these bags. They do fit cans. You could find smaller ones or something else. But the idea is, whether it's these bags or something else, you just, find something to give away with, as an upsell. So if you find yourself seeing a lot of people buying 2 4-packs, find a way to give away something with 4 4-packs, and you'll be amazed at how many people will buy 2 extra 4-packs just to kind of get themselves up to a free gift that does not cost you very much. Obviously, you got to make sure your margins can withstand it, but generally speaking, if we're selling our own product, for the most part, you're coming out ahead on these things for sure. Particularly if you do them with high-end stuff. If you guys have a cork and cage program, if you have a sour program in bottles, things like that. All right. This is my favorite one. Nope. So Steve at the Colony Meadery is our director of operations, Steve Farmington. He has a cousin named Joel in Philadelphia. We've hired him because really he's got a family member who is an investor. He's the person we send you to if you've got certain sales inquiries, or if you've got something you want us to take a look at. Most of our like Spotify accounts and stuff like that are in Steve's name. The thing about Steve is he does not exist. He is a completely fake person. There is no Steve Farmington, even though he has business cards and an email address, and we talk about him like he's real. There are 2 great things about a fake employee. The first is it gives you sort of a universal code word for your staff to, again, whether you're talking about streaming accounts or anything like that, you can always log in, Steve at thecolonymeadery.com. The second thing is, it is a fantastic thing. You get to blame stuff on Steve. So when one of you drops the ball and you were supposed to get back to an email or something, you can say, that landed on Steve's desk. And I guess he just missed it. He's a nice guy, but he sometimes forgets stuff like that. And it gives you just this person to completely bury, and you never have to feel bad because he's not real. But every now and then you maybe respond to an email from him, and who make sure that he has some sort of paper trail. It also lets you send people that you really don't care about, but you need to give them something to do. Just oh yeah, that's a question for Steve. You should really email Steve, and then you can just blame him as your Stonewall. I really encourage you all to come up with your own fake employee. Give him a name or her a name, give backstory, come up with everything. It's a real delight as both an inside joke and just a complete get out of jail free card. We've had several people that have copied this. Steve's cousin Joel worked at a sign company in Philadelphia, also fake. Joel, I believe, was an avid spoon collector. So, really the fake employee is just sort of a great catch-all to go to. It can solve a lot of problems for you, and fill in a lot of gaps. We went so far as to take a headshot of him. We put him on our website. He's not on there now because we didn't have an even number of people, and for design purposes, we wanted to take him off. But I think we're going to probably put together, another bio for him, just to make sure that people know that Steve's there for them, that they can reach out to him if they need anything that we don't care about. All right. So those are the 5 kind of stupidest ideas. They're all silly. I do think they'll help you. Again, this is a short and silly presentation, but there are a few other things. We named our tanks, and we use two-syllable names going down for the primary vessels and two-syllable names going up in the alphabetical order. So from Z ascending for the secondary vessels. Pretty much nothing has garnered more comments on our tours than this. Also, I've noticed, I've seen in the industry, and people approach tours differently, so not everyone does the same thing. I'm amazed at how many places do free tours. I would encourage you to charge for guided tours. Those are things that cost time, and when people pay for it, they really feel like they get more. The way we do our tours now, which has been fantastic, it also lets you sell them on things like Groupon. We sell our tours, and then they get a tasting at different stops along the way of the tour. So by the time they're done, they've had effectively a glass of mead, and they're a little bit ready to hang out and spend money and try some more stuff. And that was actually an idea we got from a guy in our building who used to work in the restaurant industry. So it's definitely, if you're in a position where you're doing tours, and you're seeing them as a bit of a drain on resources, and they can kind of mess up flow through of your tasting room, which God knows they were doing for us. Charging for the tours, giving the tasting along the tour really helped, our conversion rates as far as making sure that people were really in a position when they came back from the tour, and when they were done with it, they felt like they'd gotten their money's worth and they were ready to spend more. Showerboard, it is basically like $12 for an 8-foot thing at Home Depot or Lowe's. It's effectively whiteboard. We just started wallpapering our production room with whiteboard to continue using it. Just instead of spending like $40 at Staples for a whiteboard, and then we couldn't put it anywhere. Showerboard is nice and light and thin. So you just took it and basically taped it to the garage door here. We've got it in other places. Very cheap way to just kind of always have a way to write things down and to put stuff, so you can, any flat surface you can put Showerboard on, and it gives you whiteboard. You can leave each other messages. You can always write down what you're doing. We're using it for some of our fermentation stuff, and just to track what things we're going in and where, so that's another thing, might help. We bought these things called air chairs. Now, we're an old Mack truck factory, so we have, like, at the height of those are probably 25-foot ceilings, and we have them up in the sort of rigging of the rafters, and they're suspended with ropes, and then you could just kind of drop them down and sit in them when you're done with production and ready for a beer. That way they don't take up room. So anything like that, hammocks, obviously this is for those of you in urban settings, you don't have a ton of space and stuff like that, but definitely worth thinking about. Also something that gets a lot of notice on tours, gets people very engaged. When the second gentleman, Doug Abahoff, Kamala Harris's husband, came to our facility earlier this year, one of the major things he wanted to talk about was these air chairs, and how they were just sort of up there for people to look at, and then we could sit in. And that is, again, really pretty, that was it. Those are the ideas. I think we've all got selections of these. I think it's a worthwhile thing. I would always be interested if you've got any good ideas, certainly feel free to I hope these ideas, I hope at least some of them are valuable for your brewery or your business. Again, they're all, well, the air chairs aren't free, I guess, and Showerboard costs $12, but the 5 main ones were free, and they have helped us save a lot of time. And that is something, as I know you all can relate, saving time's a big deal. So those are 5 stupid ideas that I wholeheartedly encourage you to steal from me. Any questions, or you ever want to talk stuff over, or learn where to buy an air chair or anything like that, just reach out to me. I'm very easy to get a hold of. all the LinkedIn or social media, all that. But you can also get me at Greg at thecolonymeadery.com. All right, everyone. Have a great day.